The DEA makes major fentanyl seizures across the U.S. The agency announcing earlier this week it confiscated more than 36 million lethal doses of the drug in multiple states over a 5-month period. The drug busts were part of the DEA's One Pill Can Kill initiative, which aims to stop the fentanyl crisis in America. The DEA also investigated 390 cases which were linked to Mexican cartels and dozens of overdose poisonings. And I want you to take a look at your screen. Look at this. 2 Maryland men were charged with trafficking 15,000 fentanyl pills into Connecticut. You'll see in just a second the pills right there on your screen, disguised in Nerds and Skittles packaging. And as we approach Halloween, this is something that is making a lot of parents, rightfully so, very, very nervous. I want to bring in Derek Maltz. He's a former DEA Special Operations Director to talk more about this. Derek, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me and to talk about this very important topic. Appreciate it.
Yeah, very important. Derek, you know, we've seen the rainbow fentanyl, now this. Are they after our kids? What's going on? I mean, it looks like candy, the fentanyl, the rainbow fentanyl, and then the packaging here.
Yeah, well, the DEA task force in Hartford, Connecticut, they went out, did an undercover infiltration. They proactively went after these targets, and the subjects delivered the 15,000 fentanyl fake pills, right? And of course, the packaging was in Nerds and Skittles, right? These are candies that we all like during Halloween. Unfortunately, the cartels have a very deceptive, very strategic marketing plan now going after the kids. And this is really something that they're doing to drive profits. They want to drive addiction. That's why we're seeing an age group of 13 to 18 that are dying all over the country like we've never seen. And you know, like fentanyl is the #1 cause of death, all ages, all kids 18 to 45. This is the #1 cause of death in America. That's because it's poison, it's coming from labs in Mexico, and the Chinese transnational criminals are behind it.
Derek, what do we do about Halloween?
Look,
this is a real concern for parents.
We've had concerns over the years on Halloween. There's a bunch of psychos out there trying to harm kids. But the reality is, in this particular event, my opinion is it was just like concealing these pills in these packages so they don't get caught. But here's the problem. If somebody has that package in the house, kid sees a box of Nerds, they open them up and they take a pill, they're dead. That's why if you pay attention to some of the stories around the country, we're seeing 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds that are dying in these homes, not because they're fentanyl users or they're trying to use pills. They're getting it to their parents or their uncles or aunts' supplies. So that's the problem. And then the sidewalk chalk. They're making blocks of this bright colored like fentanyl where kids can pick up that chalk, put it on their mouth, and get, infected with this crazy substance coming out of the labs in Mexico.
I hadn't heard about the sidewalk chalk. That's very disturbing. But what do we do going into Halloween? Do you just cancel Halloween?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It's a great holiday for the kids, but you have to be cautious. The families have to get more educated. They have to open up these candies. They have to be very cautious. But more importantly, they have to be educated on this topic. Forget about Halloween a second. This is an historic level crisis on our country. Kids are dying at record levels, and parents don't even know what fentanyl is. They have to go to the onepillcankill.gov website, go to see, the nonprofits, Lost Voices of Fentanyl, Song for Charlie, Facing Fentanyl. The parents around this country are doing all the education because the White House is sleeping, and they're not talking about this because the politics against China and also the Mexican border that's wide open.
Yeah, Derek, this is very scary. I mean, we're hearing more about teens dying because of this drug. In Los Angeles, a 15-year-old girl died in a school bathroom after ingesting a pill. Now, because of that, Los Angeles Unified School District is adding Narcan in its schools, which helps reverse overdoses. We're dealing with this, and this is an urgent crisis when you start hearing about kids dying in school bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I was out in Hollywood that day filming something, and it happened right down the road, and there were like 7 overdoses of teenagers. In Georgia, for an example, there was a recent media report where they said there was an 800% increase of teen deaths in the state of Georgia from the ages like 14 to like 19, I believe. That's disturbing. Look at California. In San Diego, 2,375% increase in fentanyl-related deaths over the last 5 years. I could go on and on and on with the statistics. The other thing, too, is the massive amount of pills that are being seized. You heard the DEA administrator, but like 2 weeks ago or last week, Phoenix PD seized 1 million pills. In New Mexico, the FBI, DEA, Homeland Security, they seized another 1 million pills. The Border Patrol and CBP, they're seizing millions of pills. As a matter of fact, this year, they're up to like 12.9 thousand pounds at the border. Wow. So what's the point? Can you imagine what's getting into the country if that's what's already been seized? That's the scary part.
That is very scary. Let's talk about the broader picture. Do you blame this administration for not keeping us safe? We're seeing, what, 300 people are dying a day because of this drug?
Yes. I mean, clearly, the most fundamental, job responsibility is protecting the public, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at the kids, that's our future generation. They're not even being warned. There is no excuse why there isn't mandatory education in middle schools, elementary schools, about this fentanyl substance. They're teaching critical race theory, but they can't teach about fentanyl, which is killing the kids, destroying our future. Now, here's another thing. The Mexican cartels are operating with impunity right now south of the border. The Mexican corrupt officials are not cooperating with law enforcement. They're not doing the basic job of shutting down these production labs. So we, as a country, have to go after those labs. But most importantly, to have a wide open border, we have record levels of migrants, over 2.1 million so far this fiscal year. But the last 6 months, there's like 1.3 million. But all these gotaways, we have gotaways coming into this country from 150 countries, but countries that hate us, Iran, China, Yemen, right? These are countries that want to go after our infrastructure, destroy our way of life. We have the Chinese picking up all the cartels' cash around America right now. It's a big national security threat as the Chinese are buying land, real estate. Yeah. They're buying property by our military bases. They're asleep. And then they're telling the public they have operational control of the border. Yeah. It's absolutely irresponsible and disgusting.
Yeah, that the border is secure. They keep telling us. Maybe they think if they tell us enough, we'll believe it. This is something definitely we've never seen like this before. As you were talking about education, I remember the DARE program. When I was in school, the DARE program would come in and talk about drugs. There needs to be more education about fentanyl. onepillcankill.gov. Go there, spread the information. Derek, thank you so much for being here with us, and I love your passion.
Thank you. I work with the families around America. We just had a rally last weekend at the Washington, D.C. lawn, and we went down to the White House, and the families are angry because they can't understand why no one's talking about it. It's insane.
It's insane.
I've been doing this 4 years now on the national news and in Congress, and you think it's going in one ear, out the other, as kids are dying. So I can't explain it.
Yeah, we live here in Southern California, and you would think that the local news would be covering this every single day. At the border, they are talking about it. That's not happening.
Yeah, thank you for the coverage.
Of course, Derek, thank you so much for being here.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.